Hello everyone! We spent a beautiful 4 days in Yellowstone National Park. It's huge, really huge, and in 4 days we were able to cover just the highlights of the park, so we'll definitely need to come back here someday to explore some more. There is so much to see. Today is day 1, and we will be exploring the Upper Geyser Basin area, which is where the famous Old Faithful Geyser is, as well as some other interesting geothermal features, mini geysers, and a really nice hike up to Observation Point, where you can see Old Faithful from a breathtaking observation point. We stayed in West Yellowstone, Montana, which is about a mile from the west entrance to the park. In spite of being so close to the entrance, there was a bit of a wait to get into the park, but obviously the further away you are, the longer the wait will be. It took us around 30 minutes to get to the main entrance, and then it was about another 20 minutes to get to the Old Faithful area. There are many parking areas around Old Faithful, and it was pretty full when we got there, which was around 11 in the morning, so it was a bit of a challenge to find a parking spot. This was also the beginning of August, so it was the height of the tourist season. You need a little bit of patience, and eventually something will open up in the parking lot, which it did. People are always coming and going, so be on the lookout for someone walking to their car, and remember, be patient. We got to the Old Faithful area just as it was letting off some steam, but over the course of the next few hours, we saw it erupt 3 more times from different angles as we walked around. So we'll come back here in a bit for a more up-close view, but our first goal of the day, while we still had our energy, was to hike up to Observation Point. It's only about half a mile, but it's pretty much straight up, so it could take an hour to get there if you're pacing yourself. From where we were, in front of the Old Faithful Visitor Education Center, we followed the path to the right, or counterclockwise, around the geyser until we came to a fork in the road. The trail to the left leads to some more interesting geothermal features. We'll visit that after the hike up to Observation Point. So we took the fork to the right and started the hike up. At first it wasn't so hard. The path was a mixture of paved and wooden boardwalk and very flat. We passed a sign that let us know the observation point was half a mile away, and then continued on until another fork in the road, this time with 2 signs, and then we continued on, and apparently we went the wrong way, or as some would say, we took the more scenic route. By the way, the air smells of sulfur, and you can see bubbly and steamy things erupting all over the area. Here we came across something called the Infant Geyser, and here is the Vault Geyser. I have no idea why. And then I looked back over my shoulder, and Old Faithful was erupting again. It was definitely not 90 minutes since the last time, and you can see there were fewer people standing around. It could be this eruption was not expected. Maybe it's not so faithful after all. This eruption seemed to last longer and shoot up higher. And did I mention the smell? We walked some more and came across the tea kettle spring and some more hot stuff. This is the pump geyser, I guess because it's pumping water. This is really otherworldly to look at, and the smell. Did I mention the smell? This one is called the Sponge Geyser. This is called the Doublet Pool. Lots of bubbly things to look at here. And now we came across a sign that said Observation Point is 0.6 from here, which means we must have really strayed off the path. We probably got distracted by all the fun, bubbly stuff. One last look, and then we headed onward. This sign says Observation Point is 0.6 miles, so it looks like we went off the original trail, but now we're back headed in the right direction, and Solitary Geyser is 0.3 of a mile ahead. The trail at this point is packed dirt, not paved, and there are some uphill parts here. And now we are at Solitary Geyser, a geyser all by itself, away from the others, with a solitary person standing there. We took a bit of a break here and enjoyed the sight, and then continued on to our ultimate goal, Observation Point. The rest of the trail was not so easy. It was narrow and rough and not paved, and it was uphill most of the way. And just before we got to the top, we saw Old Faithful erupting again. Here you can see it between the trees. We were really just a few feet away from where we could get a better view. And what a view. The way back down was much quicker and much scarier. We took a shorter route, shorter but steeper, and I couldn't film and hold on for dear life at the same time, so no video of our downward hike, sorry. We found ourselves back down in front of Old Faithful again. This time it was emptier, and we were able to find front row seats. And then all of a sudden, Old Faithful was starting to erupt again. And this time we were in the wet zone seats. And no, there isn't a sign, but we got wet. Here is Old Faithful spraying my camera lens. Still, it was fun. And this was our 4th time seeing her erupt in the same day. Next, we decided to go back to the original fork in the road where we went right, and this time we went left and found another area with more fun and bubbly stuff. Here we came across something called the Blue Star Spring. Look at how clear blue the water looks. Lots of fun stuff to look at, just awesome. This one is called the Chinese Spring. Not all of them have names. And then at the end of this boardwalk, we came across the historic Old Faithful Inn. This is a National Historic Landmark built in 1903 with logs and stone, and it's believed to be the largest log structure in the world. It is an inn, so there are over 300 rooms to stay in, if you want. But after reading the reviews on TripAdvisor, I'd say just come here to take a look and stay elsewhere. The rooms, according to the reviews, are overpriced, small, and there are barely any amenities in spite of paying over $500 a night. Unless, of course, you want to stay for the historic experience of sleeping in the inn. Enough said and enough done for today. This was an exhilarating and exhausting first day. Tomorrow we plan to visit the Grand Canyon area of Yellowstone. Please subscribe and stay tuned for day 2 at Yellowstone. And thanks for watching. Bye.